Okay, so let's do another polynomial division problem with another little twist here. We're going to divide 5x to the 4 plus x squared minus 1 by x plus 3 with quotient and remainder. So this is x plus 3 is the divisor, and here is our quotient, which is a function of x, or we're writing as a function of x because this is going to be a cubic. And then we're going to add in a remainder term, which we're going to write just as r, a real number, because it has to be a lower degree than the divisor, which is linear, and the only thing lower degree than a linear is a constant, degree 0 term. Okay, so let's do our usual process. We're going to look at the first term here, the leading term, which is 5x4, and we think, what do we have to multiply x by to get 5x4? That's going to be 5x cubed. We'll distribute it in and get 5x to the 4. And now we multiply it by, after matching the powers of x to the 4, we're going to multiply it by 3. And we're going to get 15x to the 3. 15x to the 3 here. And then we look over here and we think, wait, there's no x cubes. There's no x3 term, right? This could throw us off. Again, if we're memorizing steps, the fact that there's no x3 term could be a bit of a twist for us. But if we understand what we're doing and why we're doing it and why it works, well, we know that's fine, right? We have 0 x3s here. There are no x3s here. We got 15 x3s, so we have to cancel these, right? We have to get rid of these to match the number of x3s. How do we do that? Well, we need a negative 15x3 to cancel out that positive 15x3. We need negative 15x cubed. So we're going to put in negative 15x squared here to distribute in and multiply by the x and get a negative 15x cubed to cancel. And so those cancel and we have the right number of x cubed. Then we multiply it by 3. Again, it distributes into both the terms, right? So we multiply it by 3 and we get negative 45x squared. Right? We have negative 45x squared. And now we're back in familiar territory because we're supposed to only have 1x squared. So we need 46x squareds to get that 1x squared that we need. So what's the next term that we put in? It's going to be 46x. It's going to be 46x that will multiply by that leading x and give us the 46x squareds that we need to have 1x squared. And then it's going to multiply by the 3, and it's going to give us plus, that's going to be 120 plus 18, so 138 x's. And what's the last thing we do? Well, we look how many x's there are. And again, a bit of a twist, right? There's no x term in this one. So we're supposed to have 0 x's. So we need to cancel this 138 x's. We have to get a negative 138x out of the next thing that we put in here. Let's squish this over even more to make space. And what do we multiply x by to get negative 138x? Well, I'm pretty sure that's negative 138. Negative 138 gives us the negative 138x to cancel there. And by the way, so we have the right number of x squareds. We have the right number of x1s, which is 0, the right number of x cubed, which is 0. And then we multiply the negative 138 by the 3. And what do we get? I think we get negative 300 plus negative 90, right? So we do the 100 first and the 30. So we get negative 190. And then 3 times 8 is 24. So it's negative 190. Or sorry, negative 390. And then minus 24. So I think that's negative 414. I'm pretty sure this is going to be negative 414. And what's our constant supposed to be? It's supposed to be negative 1. So the remainder is what we add to the actual output, right? We stop when we get to a constant. We can't lower the degree of the term anymore. So we look at what we actually have, which is negative 414. We want negative 1, so we add 413 as the remainder, because that will add to after we do this process, right? What is the total output going to be? What's the final output going to be? We're going to have 5 when we multiply this by this. We're going to have 5x4 plus x squared minus 400 minus, can I write numbers properly? 414, right? These canceled to 0x cubed. This was 1x squared. This was 0x. And then we have the 414. If we want a constant term of -1 and we have negative 414, we have to add positive 413 to get that. And that's why the remainder is 413. So again, we can handle these tricks and twists. Maybe we can't handle saying tricks and twists, but we can handle the tricks and the twists if we understand the process and know what we're doing and why it works.